Hello, everyone, and thank you, as always, for joining us this month of October for our monthly free webinar. Today, the webinar is on surviving the holidays financially unscathed. And we are so happy to have Kathy Jameson from MSU Extension, Michigan State University, who has lots of good information to share with you. Want to say hi, Kathy?
Hi, everyone.
All right, Kathy will tell you a little more about herself when we hand the webinar over to her. First, because we know that a significant portion of our monthly attendees for this free webinar are new to financial social work. We'd like to tell you a little bit about financial social work, why we do what we do, how we do it, and um, the fact that for us, we believe that financial health is about much more than dollars and cents. And that's what makes us different, and that's what you're going to learn about here. So this diagram kind of lays it out. There's not enough space to put every possible potential piece of the things that impact us financially. Certainly technology and money, how we earn, save, share, and borrow. Those are important pieces. Technology and society play a strong role. Our behavior, how we earn, spend, save, share, and borrow again. And money impacts our health, and our health impacts our money. Physically, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, even socially. And the people in our communities, our friends, our family, our colleagues, where we are in the life cycle, young, middle aged, older, and so much about our own personal history and the psychosocial component of financial social work. The thoughts, feelings, and attitudes that drive financial behavior are a critical part of the work we do. So this is the Wolfson Whole Person Financial Health Model, and I am Rita Wolfson. So let's see if we can keep going. Okay. Okay, so when I say that financial health is about much more than money, we know that our relationship with our money and with ourselves. So it's our client's relationship with money and self, but also our own impacts our financial behavior. Again, financial behavior, how we earn, spend, save, share, and borrow. And it's that financial behavior that really does determine our financial circumstances. Is that simplistic? Yes, it's much more complicated, but that is, a real foundation, and this is how we like to present it so that you understand where we're coming from. We know that true, sustainable, long-term financial behavioral change happens as a result of our behavior. So we talk about the relationship we have with our money and with ourselves, self-confidence, self-respect, self-esteem. These are critical because if we don't feel good about ourselves, we're not likely to put in the time and the effort required to create change. And probably the last time I'll say it, but I do always like to emphasize what we consider to be financial behavior, which is how we earn, spend, save, share, and borrow. Really, those are the critical components. And when we talk also about our relationship with ourselves, there are these emotional barriers. There's so much involved in those thoughts, feelings, and attitudes about money. Everything from being judged, experiencing fear and guilt and worry and stigma. So an overview, a very quick overview of financial social work is that it's an ongoing model which is highly experiential, and I've said several times that it's a behavioral model. It incorporates ongoing financial education, motivation, validation, and support. It is interactive, introspective, and strengths-based. It works individually, one-on-one with clients, or in groups, and many of our graduates use it to practice financial therapy. As we wind down talking about financial social work certification model, I just will point out that it integrates transformational learning and the trans-theoretical model of behavioral change. I'm sure many of you are familiar with both of these models, but they are integral part of the certification process. And I'd like to point out the fact that dollars and cents don't make our financial choices. So when I say that, financial health and financial wellness goes beyond the dollars and cents, it's our inner money self. We each have this inner money self, and that's where these financial choices and decisions are made. And when I'm doing workshops or trainings, I'll often ask my audience to close their eyes and introduce themselves to their financial money, their inner money self, and get to know that inner money self, because that's where our circumstances originate, from that inner money self. As you can see in this graphic, money is not the problem. It's our relationship with our money that is. And it's our inner money self, our thoughts, feelings, and actions with money and with ourselves, that determines our financial circumstances. So financial well-being requires a healthy inner money self. And someone that has that healthier money self is definitely more engaged, more likely to be engaged, is more hopeful, more eager to change, and more prepared to succeed. And so this is always our goal in working with our students and with their clients and our clients, is finding peace, being at peace, and making friends with your money. So I am going to do this poll, and then I am going to turn it over to our speaker, Kathy Jameson, and she can do her wonderful part. So let me do this poll with you. So the holiday season, I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll. So what do you think? Is it the most wonderful time of the year? Is it one of the most stressful times of the year? Is it the time we want to be at our best but often aren't? So you can read those and make your choices. Oh, we have a good number of people voting. We love our community because, as we always tell our monthly speakers, that you are very interactive and very hands-on, participatory, because it makes us so much better for us, and I think for you. Well, this is very interesting. So let's see if we can get just a few more people to vote. We're at 70%. All right, I'm going to count it down, and then I'll close it, and I'll share the results with you. Pretty interesting. Okay, so I'm going to close it and share the results with you. Well, I think it's really nice that some of you do feel it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's what the song says anyway. But I know that for many of us and for many of our clients, it is very stressful. And we do want to be at our best, but the stress often prevents us from being there. And it is a time, as you're going to learn from Kathy, when it's very easy to spend and easy to confuse spending with showing love. So thanks, everybody, for your participation. And now I am going to turn this over to Kathy. I'm going to hand it off to you, Kathy, and you can introduce yourself, and we can keep going from there.
Super.
Okay, good. There you are.
So we can see my screen?
We can see your screen.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on surviving the holiday season financially unscathed. What a weird word that is, unscathed, right? My name is Kathy Jameson, and I work for MSU Extension, and I've been with them for the last 15 years. And what I do for them is I provide financial literacy education, money management. I also do workforce preparation and entrepreneurship, and I do it across the state, the great state of Michigan, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And I want to thank you, Rita, for reaching out to me. I think it was back in May.
Right? It was a long time ago.
Yeah, you read one of my articles and you said, hey, can I do a presentation? And so here I am today. So
well, I know you're going to talk a little bit about extension, but I hope that all of you on the call are familiar with extensions because they do amazingly wonderful work. Okay, Kathy, take it away.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So as part of an extension, MSU is an affirmative action, equal opportunity employer, and all of our programs and services are open to all. So just wanted to make note of that so you know we do not discriminate in any way. A little bit about MSU Extension. Our mission is that we help people improve their lives by bringing the vast knowledge resources of MSU directly to the individuals, communities, and businesses. So for more than 100 years, MSU Extension has helped grow Michigan's economy by equipping Michigan residents with the information that they need to do their job better, raise healthier and safe families, build their communities, and empower their children to dream of a successful future. Now, on the website listed, I would encourage you to check that out and explore all of MSU's Extension's catalog of programs and services, which features classes in the areas of agriculture, business and community, family, and that's where the personal finance money management classes come into play, food and health, lawn and garden, natural resources, and 4-H and youth. So 4-H is everywhere in the nation, and it's the youth development program of all the land-grant universities. All the universities, of course, engage in research and teaching, but the nation's there's 100 land-grant colleges and universities out there. They have a third critical mission, and that is the extension portion of it. Through extension, the land-grant universities bring vital practical information to agricultural producers, small business owners, consumers, families, and young people. So by clicking on that second website listed, you can learn all about the programs that Extension offers and which colleges and universities in your state that are charged with bringing knowledge and research into the community. So if there's 100 universities, many times some states have two land-grant universities. So they're everywhere. And not only will you be tapping into the universities, for instance, Michigan has 83 counties. So in every single county in Michigan, we have an extension office. And that's most likely the same situation in your state. So you probably have an office right within your own county that you can reach out to, and they offer a ton of information. Many of it free, not all of it, but many of it is free. Great resources that are provided. And the cool thing is Extension is a network, because we're a network of 100 universities. In fact, some of the things that I'm going to be sharing today are not necessarily from Michigan State, but they're from other extension offices. That's what makes it great. Now, the last website, the extension.org website, that's another great resource for you. And that will provide online training, resources, even ask the expert. So if you have a question, you just type in this question to ask an expert, and it goes out to the people who have signed up to be experts in that area. And they will then answer those questions regardless of whatever it is. We probably have an expert in that area. So it's a pretty rich resource. So if you have not utilized Extension, I highly recommend it. So here, although money doesn't grow on trees, through our educational workshops, we strive to provide individuals with the knowledge skills and the tools so they can grow their wealth. So we have a whole department on money management and personal finance. Here, there's a team of educators across Michigan who offer in-person classes as well as online classes on a variety of financial topics, as you can see. So money management, foreclosure prevention, retirement, how to rent smart, home buyer education. We offer a lot of financial coaching, one-on-one, student loan information. And if you go to the mymoneyhealth.org, can I go to one of these just to show them so they can see?
No, I think we need to keep moving to
Okay, all right,
the
all right,
webinar.
All right. So the website mymoneyhealth.org, that will list all the trainings that we offer across the state with all the pertinent details. So it also has other resources you can download for free as well as articles. And then the second website is part of that e-extension that I mentioned earlier, but there's a personal finance community of practice site, which also offers free trainings and articles and resources from extension educators across the nation. So that's a little bit about extension in Michigan. So let's get into today's webinar. So today, the topics that we're going to be covering are, we're going to talk about proactively managing your holiday mental and financial health, how to create a credit smart holiday spending plan, how to get bargains without busting your wallets, tips on avoiding holiday scams, and there's a ton of them out there, as well as celebrating the holiday spirit with money-saving tips, money-wise gifts and parties. So there's going to be a number of polls. I'm going to try to make this interactive as possible. And at the end of the presentation, there'll be a time for questions and answers. Okay. And I also provided some handouts, too, and I'll mention those when we get along. Okay, we're going to start off with a poll. Let me get to the poll. Let's see. So, do you feel in control of your money? Did I launch it yet?
No.
Launched. Okay, I'm launching it now.
Okay.
So if you want to take a little bit of time to, wow, they're...
I told you we have a great audience, right?
Yeah, you know, yeah, they're active. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds here because I look like a lot of people are have voted already. So it's starting to slow down. So I'm going to close the poll. You're going to have a couple more seconds here. All right. We're going to close it and see what those results are. So I'm now going to share it. So that's good. We have 24% that feel that they're in control. That's awesome. And then 35, almost in control, because we can't be perfect all the time. 28%, so that's in the middle ground. And then 7% out of control, and 6% totally out of control. Okay. So now sometimes we feel out of control. And then the key here is just taking time to reflect on what are some of those underlying causes that can help us break free of those barriers. So once we know the causes, we can begin to develop that plan. So asking your clients or yourself this question sort of helps gauge where you're at emotionally and financially, and how much work you might have to do. So I wanted to just do a little quick chat. If you can just take a moment to share some of the underlying causes that might make you feel that you lack control of your money. Thought I'd give this a try. Let's see if people are chatting.
So everybody would need to look for their chat box up in the right-hand corner in the control panel. And this we've not tried this before, having people to chat. I don't see
any chatting.
Okay, well, if People don't want to chat? Okay, here, under questions, some people have put peer pressure.
Oh, okay. So doing it under, okay, peer pressure. That's true.
Yeah, very true.
Is it a question mark? Oh, guilt. Guilt for sure. Shame. Okay, definitely. That was a long one. Job insecurity. Yes. Keeping up with the Joneses. Unexpected expenses. And we're going to talk about that. Not enough money for all the bills. You just have too many expenses and not enough income coming in. Sales, all those temptations. Great, great. So this is going to, each person is going to be a little bit different. Wow, we're getting some great answers here. Okay. Now, so I chose this picture because we often create our own barriers without even knowing it through our habits, our behaviors, the choices we make, our thought processes. This goes into what Rita was talking about earlier. You know, who is your inside person? So it's aligned with the whole Wolfson wellness plan. So let me ask another question. I'm going to do another poll. Let me close here. Would you have difficulty in covering $1,000 in unexpected bills? So yes or no. Because one of the things that people said was not having enough money to cover their bills. And that's going to be, of course, a sense of high stress, a feeling of out of control. So I'm just going to give it a few more moments. We have 70%. We got a good amount who voted here. So I'm gonna close the poll in just a couple of seconds here. All right, I'm gonna close it. And now I'm gonna share the results. Okay, so we had 42% said yes, and 58 said no. Okay, and that's with 80% voted. Now, let me show you some of the research behind this. Let me get to the next slide here. Did I already share the results or no?
Yes, you shared them.
Okay. So I got to just like hide this thing, right? Hide it, and now I can.
Right, right.
Okay. Okay, so that was the question. So this was based on some research just done in 2016. The number of people who would have difficulty covering $1,000 in unexpected bills. So 75% of people in households making 50% or less said they would struggle with that.
$50,000
years ago. 67% of people in households making $50,000 to $100,000. So even at that range, they're still saying that they would struggle coming up with that. And even at 100 plus more, 38% of people said they would struggle. So our group is doing much better than the average here. So I use $1,000 in this poll because consumers who said they went into debt over the holiday season in 2017 racked up at an average of over $1,000 in debt, according to an annual survey conducted by Magnify Money. That's an increase of 5% over last year. But the key here also is they found those shoppers put their debt on the high interest plastic, so they got into even more trouble. So more Americans are finding themselves in debt as a result of holiday gift purchases. 56% of those who shopped during the 2016 holiday season incurred credit card debt versus only 48% in 2015. And then the thing that really struck me is a year later, on average, 14% still did not have their debt paid off. So that can really cause some financial difficulties if you're still paying a year later on that holiday debt. So I'm sharing this with you so any of your clients, you know what some of them might be going through. So working with them for their holiday shopping plan is so important. So we have the biggest shopping days of the season just right around the corner for us. From Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday, more than 174 million Americans will shop in stores or online. So that's huge, and that's according to the National Retail Federation. Now, the average spending per person over just this 5-day period last year was $335, with 75% specifically going towards your gifts. And then the biggest spenders were the older millennials. So 25 to 34-year-olds. They spent almost $420. So I'm going to ask one more question, another poll real quick. Expected, how much do you plan on spending this year for the holidays? So let me get the poll. So less than last year, about the same, or more? Yeah, we got a fast group here. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to give you just another couple of seconds here. We got about 75% voting. Okay, awesome. I'm going to close the poll. All right. So I am going to share the results. So 46% said they're going to spend less than last year. 53% about the same. And only 1% more than last year. Wow, that's interesting. I'm going to show you what a recent consumer holiday spending report shows. A little bit different results. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is according to a 2018 Consumer Holiday Spending Report by OpenX and Harris Poll.
Kathy,
Yeah.
right now I'm seeing the results of the poll. I'm not
Oh,
seeing...
I got to stop it. I got to hide it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So according to that survey, they're predicting that the holiday spending is going to be greater than ever. So on average, so this is not consistent with our group here, but on average, 26% are going to spend more than last year. Now, the millennials, of course, are the big ones. Not of course, I shouldn't have said of course, but you're going to find there's a lot of trends with millennials. As you can see, they're the big spenders. 41%, they're going to spend more. And part of this is because the consumer optimism is the employment rate's good, our unemployment's down. And nearly 8 out of 10 shoppers are planning to spend the same or more than last year. So a little bit different than what our group says. So it's always interesting to see if the polls are comparable.
Well, these are the people of the financial social work community.
That's true, of course.
We're proud of them.
You guys are more practical, of course. So this is good. You guys are the thinkers, you know. All right. So now, another thing that you might want to ask some of the people that you work with is when do they plan on starting their shopping? Because that's going to have an impact on their budgets. So I'm going to do another quick little poll. Let me launch it. So the question is, when do you plan to start your holiday shopping? September or earlier. So have you already started your shopping? October through Thanksgiving. That 5-day Thanksgiving weekend blast. After Cyber Monday until a week before the holiday or the week before the holiday. Okay.
I have to tell you, Kathy, you don't have my favorite shopping time.
When is that? After the holidays.
That's right.
Yes, you know, and that's probably the smartest of them all. That would be good. Because that's when you're going to get your bargains.
That's right.
And the trick here is this webinar should probably take place like in January to get people really thinking about it, because that's the greatest time to spend. Okay, I'm going to stop I'm going to close the poll. I'm going to share the results. So our group, 26%. Okay. They've already started. 37 October through. Actually, it's going to be pretty close to what the results are. So 16% do that Thanksgiving weekend. I used to do that. I used to do all my holiday shopping Thanksgiving weekend, and I'd be done. Did it Black Friday, and that was it. But not anymore. Okay, so I'm going to hide, and I'm going to share the next screen. Let's see. So this is based on that same poll. So 30% of consumers have already begun, which is really close to what we have. And nearly half of people will complete the majority of their shopping before Thanksgiving and the traditional heavy shopping days of Black Friday and on the other side, 6% of consumers don't even start their holiday shopping until the week before. So we're pretty consistent. 37 is October, which is the highest here. So this group is very similar to the poll that they had. So that's interesting. But the reason I ask this question is because you want to ask this to your consumers or your clients. Okay, another trend that's happening, the growing trend, and this has a significant impact on holiday shopping, is more and more people are shopping online. And it's pretty evenly split between online shopping and in-person. So it's 49% for online and 51% for in-person. Now, there are benefits of shopping online, of course, because you can save money on gas. You don't have to have any parking fees if some of your places that you shop at require that. You can keep the kids at home, which gives you freedom. And you can shop anytime, day or night. So those are great benefits. But because of these ease of buying online, you're also might be tempted to make impulse purchases or even more purchases. Studies show that people who do both online and in-person shopping are going to be spending the most. So the more ways you shop, the more money you'll spend. So for instance, 30% of millennials and parents click on mobile ads at least weekly, and more than 20% make weekly purchases based off a digital ad they have seen. Now, the other great thing about going online and mobile and being mobile is it's much easier to research and comparison shop through deal-oriented sites such as Retail Me Not or eDeal information. But the key here also is you need to factor in those shipping prices. So often you have to spend so much in order to get free shipping. So often you'll buy things that you don't necessarily need just to get that amount, to get your free shipping. But there's also, many stores are offering the free shipping throughout the holidays, and for sure, many of them are offering it on Cyber Monday. And there's also a day called Free Shipping Day. And I was not aware of this until I started putting together this presentation. There's Free Shipping Day, and that's December 14th, and there's a website. So you just do a Google Free Shipping Day, and it'll come up, and there's tons and tons of stores that are affiliated with that. So that can save you some money. So what do consumers spend money on? As you can see, U.S. projected average will spend approximately $819 this coming year just on presents alone. So, and I thought it was very interesting, you know, people love their pets, and many shoppers plan to spend more on Fido this year than on some of their friends or even family members. And it's broken down according to the U.S. total, if it's a millennial, a parent, or somebody who makes 85 plus. So the key here, in order to plan for this year, you need to look backward. So you need to look at your credit card statements, your bank statements. Who did you shop for like last year, and make that list. What did you spend money on presents? Did you do any traveling? Did you have to fly somewhere? Were you the person who had everybody over for the holidays? It's always going to cost more if you're having the party. So look at your past expenditures to try to create a baseline for this year. And think about what you can reasonably save over the next few months, plus any money that you already have saved for the holidays. When developing your budget, you need to be smart. You need to think about the 5 W's, the who, the what, the where, the why, and the when. You need to try to be specific, make sure it's measurable, it's attainable, your budget's attainable, relevant, and time-bound, so that you have, is it based on a month? Is it based over a year? And the how is the looking ahead and making the spending plan. So can I show them the handout?
No, I think we should go ahead and keep going.
There's a handout in the package that will have like a sample budget you can use. So the holiday spending is much more than just the gifts we buy. It's the cards, the pictures, the stamps, the wrapping paper, the decorations, the shipping fees. So you want to include all of those. But also don't forget all the family traditions, the meals, the cookies, the spirits. And plus it's the season of giving. So any donations, gifts to service people or other charities should also be listed in the plan. And of course, don't forget to build in the miscellaneous category. It'll give you some extra cushioning in case a coworker, for instance, gives you an unexpected gift and you want to reciprocate. It's always better to have a little extra room for miscellaneous, and then if you don't use it, it can go back into your savings. That's better than maxing it out and then something comes along and then you're stuck pulling it out of your savings. So that link right there is a link to a spending plan.
But you provided one for them, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's the one that's on as an attachment. So I wasn't sure how this worked. Okay. But the key here is setting the spending limits is just the beginning. Budgeting requires discipline and regular check-ins. If you don't revisit it, then what's the sense of having it? You have to match the actuals to your budget and see where you're over and under. I would recommend setting a weekly reminder on your phone to review how much you spent and how much you have left to spend. If you discover you overshot the budget on a particular gift, there's still hope. You'll need to make an adjustment to the other gifts, or you can make an adjustment to your other expenses that you might have for that particular month. As always, the budget's ultimate goal in mind. It might be focused on the months of November and December, but it will affect your finances well into the new year. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to turn your hopes, wants, and dreams for the holidays into SMART goals. So here's just some samples. A lot of people you can ask them, what do they want for the holidays? And they're very general. I'd like to buy a new TV for the family. I want to buy something special for that special person in my life. Help them make them more specific and more measurable, realistic, and attainable. Is it going to fit within their budget? And use those 5 W's. Before you even go to the mall or shop online, you want to make sure you have a list of the people you want to buy for, identify who you really need to buy for, and how much can you realistically spend without going into debt. Try to brainstorm some items the person might like within the amount budgeted before even going shopping online or in person. So have that plan in place and make them specific, make them SMART. How are we doing on time? Let's see.
We're good. We're good.
We're good? Okay. So I wanted to also get into the emotional side of money. As Rita indicated, it's knowing how you feel about money, your relationship with money, which is going to affect how you spend it. So what does money provide you? So asking your clients that question. What is its value to them? Why is money important to you? And I was going to have you type in the chat box, but I think we don't I think I'm going to keep on going.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
good.
is just a diagram. So money means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It might mean status. It might mean security, comfort, power, recognition, comfort. So it has a lot of different values. So you could ask them these questions. What are the 3 most important things they spend money on each holiday? So make them prioritize. And then ask them, if they had to make a cut in their holiday spending, how would they do that? So that way you're preparing them for those unexpected emergencies. And then if they suddenly got extra money, how would they spend it? So these are just some questions to ask yourself or your clients. What is your color of money? This is an attachment, as well as I attached a money personality. They're very similar. So these are value assessments. So knowing your money color will help you better understand your money values. Reflecting on what colors say about you and what risks you are likely to face if you fall into a specific color. For instance, if you take this quiz, and they're pretty short, and then they give some thoughts, some things to think about depending on what color you are. For instance, if you score high on blue, money is valued for pampering or treating yourself. So that's the picture with the girl and with the towel and holding some fun makeup stuff. So for people with a high blue score, they're more likely to shop when they're stressed or unhappy, spend savings on what is wanted over what is needed, and are less likely to have a spending plan and a savings that they can stick to. So having your customers, your clients, take this assessment can then help you guide them, or yourself, knowing what your money color is. So I won't get into all the different colors, but there's 5 different colors in this assessment as well as in the other. And they're pretty similar, but you can use either one of them. So let's get into making a credit smart holiday. Credit cards can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Now, I use credit cards for everything, but I know I always pay them off at the end of the month. So I'm just building credit, getting all these points, all these deals, but that's not the case for everybody. So you want to, here's just a few tips. They might not have to spend any money. They can just use their credit card points if they have some. So that way you can buy things, and then using that mall, you can also get additional discounts, because often the card issuers have an online mall. Know your perks. Each credit card's a little bit different. Know how they work. Some credit cards offer purchase protection, extended return periods, longer warranties, price matching, and special deals. Some offer cash back, miles for travel, reward points, and sign-up bonuses. So know how your cards work so you can maximize their utility and design a strategy that will work for you. For instance, to receive a sign-up bonus, you might have to have a minimum amount of spending in the first few months to receive it. So applying during a time when you spend more money might be a smart move. So right around now is when people are spending money. So if you're going to meet that minimum, you could get some major perks. But some of the perks might sound great, but are very difficult to use. So you really have to read the fine print. The key here is also knowing yourself and your habits. Only sign up for store credit cards that you frequent, because your spending habits can have an impact on your credit report and your credit score. It's not a smart money move, to get a store credit card for casual, occasional shopping at one particular store. Only the ones that you use on a regular basis. And then if you dream of travel, but most of your trips are to the grocery store, you might be better off getting a cashback card rather than one that offers miles. So it's about knowing how you spend money. Many of them offer price matching, so take advantage of that, because it's maddening to see the price of something drop once you've just already bought it. So know what your store's price match policy is, and your credit card price protection feature. And then if you know you're likely to overspend, stick to paying with cash. Leave the plastic at home. That puts a physical limit on your ability to spend and can help honor your budget. So those are just a few tips for that. Now, this is the time of bargains. There's going to be lots of bargains, lots of temptations out there. So you don't buy everything. Here is just a few tips. One of them, the 24-hour rule. This rule helps you avoid purchasing expensive or unnecessary items on impulse. Think over each non-essential purchase for at least 24 hours. This is particularly easy to do while shopping online because you can just add the items to your cart or wish list and come back to them a day later. So just think about it. If you have a hard time buying things and you need to avoid that temptation, then unsubscribe from the marketing so you don't even get that in your face. By law, each email is required to have an unsubscribe link, usually at the bottom of the email. So use it, unsubscribe. Here's another little tip. Match the cost of your non-essential indulgences in savings. So for example, if you splurge on a smoothie while out running errands, put that same amount into your savings account and think of it this way. If you can't afford to save that matching amount, you can't afford the treat either. So it's about a mindset. The scams. There's definitely, holiday times are a gift for giving, but there's also many scams out there. So for charities, there's some fake charities out there. So only give to charities you trust and know. Look them up on the Charity Navigator. So there's a website right there. And those will rate charities based on financial health, accountability, and transparency. Be aware of fake contest alerts. Many scammers use telemarketing to tempt consumers with prizes from fake contests. This just happened to me just the other day. I was making a reservation for a conference, and they put me into another person, and they were trying to sell me one of these holiday deals. So be skeptical if you get a call out of the blue about winning a big ticket item. Don't put down a deposit or provide the call with your personal information. The bait and switch. Peddlers of counterfeit items do a booming business during the holidays as people shop for the most popular high-ticket items like watches, designer handbags, and electronics. The rule of thumb here is if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So double check it. ID theft, although it's an issue throughout the year, it happens even more during the holidays. You're probably giving out your personal information more often and more freely than you ever realize. Keep your information as safe as possible. Only shop on your home or other secure Wi-Fi networks. Many retailers are now asking for your zip code, phone number, and email address at checkout. None of this is necessary to complete a retail transaction, so you can politely decline to give this information. Gift cards, they're one of the most popular gifts people are giving, and there's a lot of different scams that are possible. Make sure that your gift card has not been tampered with. A lot of organizations now that are giving out gift cards have that scratch off with a PIN number, so make sure it's not tampered with and that scratch off is not there. Sometimes people will try to get a scam by writing down the numbers that are in the stores. So pick a gift card that's in the middle, not right up front. Phishing. Some of the most common internet and email scams are the phishing scams. Phishing happens when a scammer sends a fake email or uses a pop-up to lure or phish financial information away from the consumer. When a consumer clicks on that link, it takes them to a fake website and asks to enter personal information. So beware of those. Tips to thwart off thieves. You want to keep your sensitive information close to your vest. Don't give to anyone unless you've contacted them and you know they're a reputable company. Whenever a business asks for a social security number, ask if you can use another identifier instead. Lighten up your wallet. You don't need 5 credit cards. Only carry what you're going to be using. Only carry your social security card when you need it, like your employment. So other than that, you should not have your social security card with you. Never leave blank checks on a charge slip. Draw lines through them so someone can't add new amounts. Stick to secure websites. Don't enter personal information on sites you've clicked to from an email link. Type the company's URL into the browser instead.
Kathy, we
Yep.
need to just kind of move
And
along. People
okay. All
want to
right.
have some questions.
Okay. So, and then just guard your smartphone. Put a password on. Consumer safety. Okay. So we'll go on that. I'm now going to skip this little activity. Celebrate. I'm almost done. So I just want you to encourage you to celebrate the holiday spirit creatively. You can always get crafty. Hold a gathering in lieu of gifts, and give moments. So there's a ton of ideas out there. You go to Pinterest or do-it-yourself websites, and these are some of the ideas that you can get that were very inexpensive, save you some money. Give to gifts, still give gifts, but they don't have to be expensive. Okay, questions.
Okay, what we're going to do, Kathy, is
Uh-huh.
go ahead and hand it back over to me,
All right.
and then I just want to share a few things with the audience. Okay, so show my screen. Show my screen. Okay, so we're going to go to Q&A. If you have any questions, we know some questions have been coming in. And so right before we start taking those questions, I wanted to mention to you all that we have the Financial Social Work certification, which is self-study and self-paced, and our students have 6 months to complete it and 2 weeks to complete the online exam. Our graduates are across the country and around the world. And here, I want to share with all of you our very most exciting launch later this month. And we have created online money support groups for women.
Nice.
And one of the handouts is an invitation. Not only you can receive a 20% discount if you go to this website and register ahead of the launch, but also we are doing a preview session. We did a webinar on the online support groups, money support groups for women last month, and we announced that we would be offering for all of those who are interested a free preview so that if you'd like to know if this group is for you or for your clients or friends or family, next week, I guess it's probably the next, here you go. We are doing on October 18th at 2 p.m. a free preview for professionals of our online money support group for women. And so in that handout, which is the invitation to that event, and to go to our website with that link. If you'd like to join us next Thursday at 2, we will include you. So finally, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see Kathy's email, and above that, you will see all of our information. And now let's try and get a few questions in here. One thing I think some of you mentioned that I know for a fact is that in our community, especially, a lot of people, we actually have someone who said she does not spend money at the holidays. And then lots of people just do gatherings. Or the other thing that I thought to mention to you is regifting. And
Mm-hmm.
and there is a website, Kathy. I think there's an agency that's been doing it. But if you do a date of regifting, there is actually a date in December that's called Regifting Day.
Nice.
So
Did not know
yeah,
that. That's cool.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So somebody asked for your email. I have it on the screen right now. Do you think that it's okay to have families draw names for the holidays? We all buy one gift for the kids, but I want to introduce the adults to drawing names and setting limits. You want to answer
Well,
that?
I definitely feel that's fine. It's just about having a conversation with your family, how they want to proceed. I do that. We do that as a family, especially when when everybody gets older, you know, it doesn't even matter. Age doesn't even really matter. I think that's absolutely appropriate. It takes a lot of pressure off everybody from shopping, and it saves money.
You know, it's very sad if we're not all thinking about saving money. It's interesting, Kathy, because you did mention this booming economy and that people feel good about the economy and feel ready to spend. I personally question the economy and have a lot of concerns about what comes next. Well, everybody saw, well, maybe not everybody, but the stock market hasn't been very happy the past few days. It's been very unhappy. So it's always easier to spend than to repay, and having a holiday spending plan, taking these steps that Kathy suggested. They're all very valuable and valid. And some of the things I've read actually about regifting is that if you have things that you're never going to use and someone gave you, and you know someone else that could use it or would love it, I mean, what's really wrong with that? I mean, you don't have to announce that you've
Nothing.
right, and you don't have to announce that you regifted it. But also that question about picking names. Most people, wherever they are socioeconomically, they have some financial issues or pressures or problems or stress. This is a reality of life today, whether it's medical expenses, credit card debt, student debt. So reducing the number of gifts you have to give, I think everyone should be happy about that. Of course, it doesn't mean that they will.
It's a family decision. You know, it's about having a conversation because everybody sort of has to buy into it. You know, one year we decided to rather than buy gifts at all, we bought for a family. Another year, instead of buying gifts, I donated in their names because
Yes.
I'd like to.
That's wonderful. That's a lovely, lovely, lovely gift.
Or I gave them the option. I said, would you like me to donate to this organization, or would you like me to spend a gift for this amount? And then another way I've done it is because I like to give to charities. So one way I got creative, and I actually went on all the organizations that I like to support, went to their websites, and I tried to find gifts on their website. So that way I'm giving to that organization because they're making money off me, and I'm also buying a gift at the same time. So it's about being creative.
It is. I think
it's a family decision.
Those are all excellent, excellent selections. Suggestions. We still have some questions coming in. Some people are starting to do trips for the holidays to create memories instead of buying gifts. Do you have any tips for that group?
That was one of my things, is give moments instead of gifts. I mean, memories you can never lose. You know, gifts break down and so forth. So for trips, I recommend there's a lot of different places with Airbnb and vacation rentals by owner. You can get some pretty good deals that way. That way you're in one place together, because it's about spending time with the family, you know. And again, it's a value decision. So there's not a right or wrong. It's what does the family want to do. I think it's a great idea. I think we have too much stuff in the United States. So creating moments instead of things.
As long as, some of these moments can get very expensive, that's the problem.
Yeah. Again, you have to have a family discussion. You know, how much money does everybody want? You know, you could get a place for pretty cheap. If you have a big house and everybody pitches in, you can get a really nice. I did that just recently. I rented a house. It could sleep 14 people. So it was expensive, but it really only cost $100 per person. So it was a great,
Okay. Some people are suggesting personal certificate for services. Those are excellent,
Yes.
such as babysitting, dog walking, cleaning.
Hmm.
Um, some people give donations instead of gifts. And oh, somebody, where'd that go? Said that they support a family. Um, and so I guess that means they make donations specifically to so that a family can have what they want at the
That's
holidays.
awesome. That's because it's all about giving.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for spending this time with us. We hope you felt it was worthwhile. I certainly want to thank Kathy Jameson. You were wonderful. I think everybody enjoyed the materials that you shared. I know I did.
Good.
I'd like to remind everybody that take those handouts. Kathy was generous with her handouts, and we have the one for the online women's money support groups that starts in a few weeks. Kathy, thanks again. I know everyone really enjoyed it, and maybe we can work together again in the future.
All right. Thank you, Rita. Thanks for
Bye.
having me.
Bye now.
Fun. All right. Bye now.